Found the front entrance to this building. As you can see, this is Bob Reeves. Let's go inside and get a beautiful mouthpiece made.
Hi, I'm John Snell, and we're here at Bob Reeves Brass, and Ralph is joining me today. Flew in all the way from Hawaii, from New Jersey by way of Hawaii. Lucky soul. Anyway, so Ralph came to us looking for a mouthpiece. Actually, kind of a combination of mouthpieces, because he was playing a lot of big band stuff, and like all of us, wants a more present upper register, and then also for the small group, kind of restaurant, cocktail hour kind of stuff, more mellow, less offensive. We were talking about. Right. We don't want to offend any of the dinner patrons.
Right.
Kind of sound. So he's using a custom stork mouthpiece. It was actually pretty cool to see. So what we did was I started with measuring it just to kind of get a frame of reference for what we're starting with.
Right.
And then we talked about your needs and kind of what you liked about the mouthpiece, but then also what we could improve on.
Right.
So based on that, we started with the 43S. Where'd the rim go? So we started with the 43S, which is a rim a little bit. It's actually in the ballpark diameter-wise of the stork, and a similar style cup, but a good place to start, at least for the lead mouthpiece,
right.
Or the big band mouthpiece, not necessarily lead. So we started there. The rim wasn't quite right.
It was different what I'm used to.
Yeah, a little different. And so checking it out, our regular 43 rim is a little thinner, not as cushioned as the stork that you're used to using. So we swapped that out with the 43W.
This is right on there.
Yeah. So we started about the 43W, which is the exact same rim, just with more cushion. So once we got that on there, I don't want to say it was magic, because there's no such thing as a magic mouthpiece.
Almost magic.
But with that one, it felt a lot more comfortable. And
all over the horn, up, down, everything. Low G's, high A's, everything.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and the sound was full and rich, which whenever you're making a mouthpiece change, you want to make sure you keep your sound.
Right.
You know, it's your thumbprint, it's your signature. And if we give you something that allows you to do something easier, but you don't sound like yourself, that's no good. So, well, at least from what I heard, you sounded like yourself. Plus some, like the slotting was better.
The slotting was much better.
Yeah, and then we'll see when you get home. It sounded like the upper register. I mean, you're a powerful player anyway. But I think when you get home, you should find that this will be even more efficient than what you were using. So at the end of a couple hours,
right, that's the key.
Yeah, are you having to push to get the notes out, or it's like driving a sports car versus driving a semi? So hopefully you'll be driving a sports car with this guy. So that's where we ended up. We tried some shallower things, some deeper things, just to make sure. I kind of call it the Goldilocks approach, right? You want to go too small, you want to go too big.
Right.
That way you know exactly right in the middle what's going to work. So in that case, it ended up being the 43W on our S cup.
Right.
Standard backbore, standard shank. And sounded great.
Yes, I was very happy with that.
So that's this one, and then.
Wait, now I gotta interrupt.
Oh.
This mouthpiece here, he made me try. So I told him I like to play a lot of mellow in a restaurant or cocktail hours, so nobody gets upset. This was unbelievable. I never played anything like this in my life.
So this guy, I love talking about this, and I wish Bob was here to talk about this. Bob turns 90 this year, if you can believe that.
Yeah,
He's been doing this since 1968.
Yeah,
under his own name, and he was working for Benj and Proviance even before that in the early 60s. So this is the C2J, which stands for Chorale to Jazz. And if you notice, it's a short mouthpiece, but this is actually a trumpet mouthpiece. And there's a number of different styles of these on the market now. Bob was the first to design this to play in the trumpet, to get a kind of a flugel, dark, mellow sound without sacrificing intonation and without sacrificing really your playable range of the horn.
I noticed that away because I tried a few of the scales on there without moving any of the slides, and it was there.
So yeah, it's a brilliant. I mean, I love Bob. That's why we're here, is because of Bob, and it's really a brilliant design of his. And it's used for everything from classical, like offstage stuff, to like the small group stuff that you're doing. Yeah, so I wasn't surprised that you got the results you did, but we're always happy to see it.
Right.
Because you can, look, you're not going to play lead on this, obviously.
I don't want to.
But you can play your effective range on horns. If you're doing a solo or you want to get up there a little bit,
right,
those notes are there.
Right.
Even though it's a huge cup.
Yes.
So same rim, 43W rim, which is also great because if you're switching horns or you're on a gig and you need to pick up, you're not getting that kind of shock from playing a different rim.
Right.
You have that exact same feel on both your your big band piece and the small group piece.
Right.
The only thing that's going to change is that sound.
Right.
So that's the 43W C2J.
It's beautiful. I'm taking it home with me.
Yeah.
I'm taking everything home with me. You know, how about that one mute that you guys make?
Yeah. So these I wish we made these. These are Clary wood mutes. Tom Clary is a wonderful trumpet player. Obviously craftsman and a lawyer as well. Was a jack of many trades. But he's a good friend of ours, and he makes these the Clary wood mutes. Which we're really happy to carry
they're
here.
Interesting.
And they're great because they, it's not a replacement for a metal mute.
Right.
But, like we were talking about, in that the softer, especially the softer dynamics, it plays better in tune. It has similar to a straight mute sound.
Yeah.
But with more colors, and then you can still push it. If you're looking for that brassy, tinny, straight mute sound, this isn't going to get it.
Right.
But for a lot of stuff, especially in jazz and solo playing, the sound and the intonation on this is really superb.
Right.
So yeah, you were sounding great on this as well.
Well, thanks.
So yeah, Clary wood mutes, which is one of the few products that we love to carry. It kind of is a service to our customers because they're hard to find, and we try to find things that are well made and do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, that's the Clary straight mute.
That's going home also.
Yeah. Hope you have room in your luggage.
Well, that's the problem. So you'll be able to gold plate all these for me today?
So we do everything, and I'll show you, we can do a little tour. I can show you how we make stuff, but one of the cool things about our shop is we do everything in-house.
Right.
So everything from the raw brass gets brought in, all the way to the finished plated or gold-plated mouthpiece is all done under our roof.
Right.
So so you'll be able to leave.
All right. So I'm looking forward to the tour.
We'll do a little Mr. Rogers here.
Okay.
See how we make stuff.
All right.
All right. So this is a pretty good selection of our mouthpieces. There's probably 300, 350 there, which is kind of our main models. We even have more variations on these, but this is what we try to keep in stock, so when customers come in, they have stuff to play. So this is our shop. Brett here's our shop foreman. He's working on Bob's original lathe. So Bob Reeves got this lathe in 1964, and we still use it every day for just about everything. Making mouthpieces, trombone mouthpieces. We're doing some custom work right now. So this lathe has seen a lot of action through the years. If you want to come back, so we have the oldest lathe, and then over here is our newest lathe, but this is a computer-controlled lathe, CNC lathe. So it has a computer that you program to control the tool, tells the tools where to move, and it runs automatically in the background. So this has really changed our business. We can make all kinds of parts on here. Basically the cosmetic stuff, the outside shapes of the mouthpieces, accessories, adapter things, we all make on the CNC lathe. But the important stuff we still do by hand. So if we keep coming on back here, we have a lot of blanks, things that are getting ready to be made. These are going to turn into trombone rims. These are going to be made into trumpet rims. We have some trombone blanks kind of in production. So all kinds of different parts that have come off the CNC, getting ready to be made into mouthpieces. So if we come all the way back, this is Jose. Jose's been with our shop for 34 years now. This month, yeah. So Jose's working. Actually, he's making Ralph's plastic rim right now. Can I show that real quick? So this is the Delrin plastic rim that we are making for Ralph for his mouthpiece. You just cleaning it up a little bit, or? Yeah. So what we use on this lathe, we make the front ends of the mouthpieces. So the bore, we clear some material, there's a center drill that we put the bore section in, and then what we'll do to make our mouthpieces, if you can see this is a form tool. So the form tool basically makes the whole shape of the mouthpiece from the outside diameter all the way down into the bore section. So it's like a cookie cutter. It's going to make the exact same shape time and time and time and time again. So that's one reason our mouthpieces are really accurate, is because we use these and we make them one at a time by hand, you know, instead of mass producing them on a CNC lathe, which is fast and somewhat accurate, but not as accurate as what we can do on a manual lathe using form tools. So we do that here, and then on the back, we flip the mouthpiece around, and then we do the back end here. So you can see we have a backbore tool. We'll line up, depending on what size backbore we're using, we'll line tools up around here. And with the mouthpiece facing this way, we can put the backbore in, and we can also file and sand the shank so it's the correct shank size. So everything's done by hand, one at a time. So that's how we make our mouthpieces. So depending on the model, a mouthpiece can take anywhere from half an hour to an hour to make each mouthpiece. So compare that to maybe 2 or 3 minutes to make a mouthpiece on a CNC lathe. And what, you know, a person is checking the mouthpiece every step of the way to make sure everything's accurate. And I won't show you, but we have the recycle bin in the back with the mistakes we've made through the years. Hopefully not as many as good mouthpieces we've made.
Ralph Davella back from a visit to Bob Reeves Mouthpieces in Valencia, California, about a half hour out of Los Angeles. It was a great experience for me to go there, and I also got a free education out of it. It was not only just a good experience to go there and experience, you know, trying these different mouthpieces that he makes, but it was worth going there just to hear John Snell, the store manager, tell stories about trumpet players, you know, famous trumpet players, professional trumpet players that we all know go there and get custom mouthpieces made. And he would tell stories about how they wanted their custom mouthpiece and how it came out and how they liked it and what they used it for. But of course he wouldn't give me their names, which is only right. But I think I could figure out who a lot of them were just by listening to the stories. So if you're ever in that area, I really recommend you trying it. Going there, you'll learn a lot, and you might find a mouthpiece that you like. Even if you don't, the experience is still great. The people there, they know how to treat you. They treat you right. They treat you with respect. You don't need to be a professional or a famous trumpet player to go there. All right, I think it's time to get on with showing you what I bought when I was out there, why I bought it, and let's give it a try. Let me show you the mouthpiece that I chose. All right, so when I was out there, of course this has nothing to do with the mouthpieces, but they had these cool mutes. Let me show them to you. Not really made for playing in sections, you know. Of course you have this, you know, they're not standard like the standard mutes, but they're great for if you're playing by yourself or if you're playing a cocktail hour or something. Got a nice sound to it. We'll show this in another thing. And also, I'll show this mouthpiece first, which we're really not going to do today. This is kind of a specialty mouthpiece, and you get a great flugelhorn sound out of it on the trumpet. And this, again, we'll show this on a different video. We're going to concentrate on the mouthpiece that I bought out there. This is it. This is the 43 WS. So let me show it to you. Okay, so the rim is a little bit wide. It's their wider rim, so that's what the W stands for. And the shallow is not very shallow. They have two more shallower than this, like I say, and it's fairly wide. Not super wide, but fairly bigger than I guess we say the average mouthpiece. More down towards a if you want to compare it to a Bach 3. more, maybe that rim is that, the inside diameter is that wide. Now, of course, all their mouthpieces are two-piece these days. So you buy the shank, you buy this part separate, and you buy this part separate. This part here, they have different shanks. They offer many different ones in stock. This is the number 2, which is their standard one. Now they have them with wider throats and shallower and more closed throats, different backboards. This is their standard one that worked out for me. I tried their other ones. This worked out real good for me. They also make them custom made. The work is unbelievable. Like the threading here and the way everything goes together is so simple. It's really incredible. When it's all together and done, you can't even see a seam. It's just fantastic work. They gold plated or silver plated, whatever you want. So that's enough talking about this mouthpiece. If you want to know anything else about what they offer, you just go to their website. So let's try it out. That's the most important thing, how it feels. How it feels for me is different for you, but I can only do it and show you how it feels for me. Let's do it now. Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat here that I like this mouthpiece. If I didn't, I wouldn't be showing it to you here, because I'm not going to be saying bad things about stuff. So if I like it, I show it. If I don't like it, I just won't show it. So, for the way I test it, I'm going to test the mouthpiece. Might be a little different than the way you would test it. It depends on what you want it for. Me, I wanted a mouthpiece for all around, up and down the registers. So we're going to demonstrate this one. And one of the first things I do when I test the mouthpiece is I just buzz on the mouthpiece a little bit. And I can only say, I compare this with my other mouthpiece that I play. If it buzzes just as good or better or worse, then I know maybe it's good for me or not good for me. So if you buzz the mouthpiece, do that. If you're not on the mouthpiece buzzer, then just skip that part. I just do that, work up in half steps, and I like it. I know right away if it buzzes as good as the mouthpiece that I had before, and you will too. That's one of the first things I do. Alright, let's move on to playing on the trumpet. So after I'm warmed up a little bit, you have to be fair to, on both mouthpieces. So that's what we're doing. We're comparing this mouthpiece to the mouthpiece that you usually play, or that I usually play. After I'm warmed up, I'll do a little bit of a difficult slurring exercise. Once you take my lesson from Carmen Caruso, we call them spider webs. And we start on the G and we expand out from there until we end up down in the low G, always up to the high G, slurring them all in one breath, all in one setting. You'll be able to tell pretty good from an exercise like that exercise or a similar one, how your mouthpiece responds to slurring intervals. All right, so let's do that one now. Okay, now when you do a slurring exercise, you do it for what you can do. If you want to do something that you think is harder than that or a lot easier, but whatever you think you're comfortable doing, so you can compare it on both mouthpieces. So I have to tell you, I was happy with that. But you do what's comfortable for you to do. I think maybe the next thing we should do is just a little bit of tonguing to make sure the tonguing works out okay on your mouthpiece that you're trying. Let's do that now. You can do a little double tonguing, triple tonguing if you want, but just make sure it feels comfortable when you're tonguing it and it comes out clear. So next, for me, I'm going to do some high notes, and the thing that I was most impressed about, and I brought this back to give it a good try, this mouthpiece, was up in the higher register. And I'm not talking about double high C, because everybody talks about double high C, but to me, I think it's harder to lock in a double high A than a double high C. So on this mouthpiece, I was trying it over at the shop, and I was very surprised at what happened when I was playing up there. So let me show you here, now that I'm playing with it a little bit. And listen, I'm going to play some high A's and listen to how it goes and how it locks in. Of course, that you have to do it. You have to play the notes, but there's definitely some help with the mouthpiece and actually locking into where it needs to be, and rather just trying to force it to where it goes. So let's try a couple exercises, hitting the double high A, the high G's, and listen to it how it locks in. Let's do one more and really try to lock it into that double high A. So for me, that mouthpiece really did the trick in locking in up there around those G's and A's. So that's important for me, because I play them on, occasionally on jobs. If it's not important to you, you probably shouldn't even try to do them. You should stick to playing your different exercises, comparing the mouthpieces, and definitely play songs. Yeah, see how a regular song sounds. It's probably more important than anything. So for me, this mouthpiece, 43 WS, for me it worked out great. Well, I definitely recommend trying these different mouthpieces, see which one fits you the best. You won't be sorry you tried them. I hope you enjoyed this video on taking a trip from here in New Jersey out to California, the Bob Reeves mouthpieces. It was a lot of fun. And thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. I hope you got something out of it. And also, I like to give my own book a little plug. It's coming out in September on Amazon. The book is from me, Ralph Davella, and the name of the book is Trumpet Range, Endurance, and Flexibility. Thank you. See you next time.